Welcome back. I'm Carissa Kranz, and there's a live feed in the courtroom in the Roy Oliver trial out of Texas 2017 case where a former officer is standing trial for the murder of a 15-year-old teenager. We were seeing some testimony earlier with the pictures being shown of the teenage boy in the car shot and killed with his hands in blood. Family members getting up and leaving the courtroom in tears because it was too emotional to watch. As you can see right now in the live feed, the court is on a quick recess, so that's why we're here to have some in-studio analysis. Imran, what kind of, you're a criminal defense attorney, what kind of defense would you make at this point? We haven't heard the defense, we're still in the prosecution's case, but does the defense have a good shot, or do you think this is pretty much a prosecution win?
Well, you know, first of all, you have an officer on trial, and you also have to take into consideration the venue, right, in Texas. I mean, historically speaking, when officers are put on trial... It's not only an
officer on trial, you have a white officer on trial with a black kid dead.
Right.
That's also, with the whole Black Lives Matter, there's his face on the screen. How sweet of a kid, straight A student, he's into sports. And with what's going on with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, that is another inflammatory fact, depending on the composition of the jury.
Right. Well, exactly. You got to take, you know, current events and the sort of climate of the country into consideration. Right now, race relations is not, you know, really, they're not at its best. So you're going to take this sort of dynamic, the racial component to this trial, and it's going to be a factor that both sides are going to be contending with and taking into consideration as they put their cases forward. And, you know, you saw the horrible photos of this 15-year-old child gunned down in the back seat there, and that's going to resonate with the jury. It's going to resonate, as you saw, with the family members, obviously, in the audience. And the jury, they're observing this. They're seeing the demeanor of both the defendant, the witnesses coming before them, and also the family members and how they react. And, you know, you're instructed as a juror to put certain sympathies and biases aside when you are on the jury. But face it, we're not robots. We're human beings. Jurors are human beings, and those things, you know, they have real effect on juries.
Right. So the question is going to be, was this reasonable or not? Not whether or not it's right or wrong. That's the legal question. Was it reasonable under the circumstances? And when you look at the facts, that is something that the jury is going to have to decide. It certainly can cut both ways. There are arguments for both sides. The defense still has to make its case. But right now, we have a live feed into the courtroom, and there is another prosecution witness on the stands. We're going to go to court. Welcome back. I'm Carissa Kranz, and that is the video of the body cam in the Roy Oliver case 2017 trial, where that's standing trial now. The former police officer in this case of excessive force versus was it reasonable under those circumstances to shoot and kill this 15-year-old boy. Really sad set of facts. That's the body cam you're watching on the screen right now. With me is Imran Ansari. I want to give you the opportunity to have some final thoughts before you go today. I know you have to go.
Sure, thank you. So, I mean, with the Oliver trial, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for the defense, but just given the track record of how juries tend to treat these officer cases, he may have a chance to be acquitted. But the evidence is stacking up against him. He made a statement that he thought that the car was going towards his partner. The body cam tells a different story. He made a statement that, you know, he was in fear of his partner's life. That's why he took that action. Body cam tells a different story. The forensic tells us a different story. And the testimony for the prosecution is telling a different story. So I think it's going to be an interesting trial.
All right, Imran, thank you so much for joining us. I also think what's interesting is that the other kids in the car are getting arrested. It seems like excessive force to me. We have to take a quick break. Stick with us. We will be right back.